So hi, okay. So hi, Jess. How you're
Hey.
doing?
Yo, good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I saw in a recent interview at Jimmy Kimmel, if I'm not mistaken, that you said that you didn't like to take that you don't like taking vacations. So I wonder, why did you decide to write and direct a movie about a very different kind of vacation that falls under the weird category of tragedy tourism?
Yeah. Yeah, so um you know, I'm really interested in the strangeness of tragedy tourism. I've done a lot of tragedy tourism. I've been to the killing fields of Cambodia and the genocide museum in Rwanda. I've been to the sites of murder in Sarajevo and Mostar in Bosnia and recently in Timișoara, Romania. I'm really interested in this kind of tourism because for me, I like to learn about the world and I like to understand the I like to understand the kind of great tragedies in modern history to try to understand how people can behave this way. It's shocking to me. And yet also when I travel, I my wife and I stay in a Western hotel and we try to eat at the good restaurant in town. And so there's this very awkward relationship between wanting to travel to places of great historical trauma, but at the same time enjoy your life. And so what this movie is trying to do is to show the irony of characters visiting the site of ancestral trauma while also taking the train in first class and staying at the, big American style hotels you know, and just the kind of irony that just the kind of irony of wanting to understand pain and trauma while at the same time being comfortable.
Hmm. Yes, and I know in one scene of the film, when you and Benji find your grandmother's home in Poland, you shot in a building that belonged to you, some member of your own family, right? So I'd like to ask you, how much of your own family history did you put in the film, and if Benji character was based in any of your real life cousins?
Oh, got it. Yeah, no, so Benji is a fictional character that I have been thinking about for many years. I wrote a play called The Spoils, and I played a character in it named Ben, who was kind of a little similar to Kieran's character. So, and I did that play for 2 years, and it took me a long time to write it. So I've been thinking about character like that for a long time. In terms of the history of the family, they talk about this woman, Grandma Dory, that is based on my Aunt Doris, and also a cousin, and also my grandfather's first cousin, Maria, who survived the war, and then all of the stories that the characters tell in the movie, even the other characters, is all stories that I heard growing up about going to Galveston, Texas, and selling furniture, about starting a pharmacy. These are all stories that I heard growing up, and when I was writing they came out pretty quickly because I had heard them my whole life. And so a lot of the movie is just based on my family's history, but kind of fictionalized to serve the needs of a movie.
And well, Kieran Culkin is definitely a force of nature. You can see that both on screen and off screen. Like he's all the time very, full of energy and everything. How you, as a director, co-acting with him, how did you manage to keep him, let's say, like free, but at the same time following your script? Because I saw again an interview that he learned his lines basically right there. That you said yourself that it was kind of like a miracle. So I'd like to ask you, how was that dynamic between directing him and being the director and also acting with him?
He was so great in the movie that I just wanted him to be free to do whatever he wanted. So, he didn't want to rehearse with me. He didn't want to stand on his mark. He didn't learn his lines the day before, but he was so brilliant that I just felt like I just want to stay away, just give him his space because he's so good. And then, we found out towards the end of the shoot that he was sleeping on his floor 2 hours a night in his hotel. So I think he was kind of like living like the character, but he just would never talk about it. So, it was a very unusual process. When I was acting with him, I just thought he was doing such a great job. Occasionally, I would give him notes. Can you try this? Can you try that? But mostly, he was so good, just so good.
And I know Emma Stone is one of the executive producers of the film. And normally, the general idea is that the executive producer is the person that brings the money and then leaves the director do whatever he wants. Hopefully, hopefully the scenario. But I know how present was she during the shoot, and did she give you any creative inputs whatsoever?
Yeah, so Emma is she is what you'd call a creative producer. So what you're talking about is more like what you would say the executive producers. They are usually the investors and they give the money, but they're not giving notes. But Emma and her partners, Ali Herding and Dave McCary, are the creative producers. So they are the ones who give me notes on my script. They are the ones who helped me cast, who helped me hire cinematography. So they're creative producers. And, Emma gave me my best note on the script. There's a scene in the movie where the characters miss their train stop and they have to try to get on another train. And that was all because Emma told me from my first draft, it would be great. She said she thinks it would be great to see these characters on their own, away from the group. And she said, is there any way for you to take these characters away from the group for a few hours so we can see what they were like when they were kids? So that was a great note, and that comes from her. And then she was also on set watching me and giving me notes as an actor. So, she was very involved and she's really, really smart.
Well, Jesse, this year you got your second Academy Award nomination. The first as a script writer. The other one was, of course, as an actor playing Mark Zuckerberg. This year, the Oscars have very much international films nominated, like Emilia Perez with 13 nominations. The Brutalist was mostly shot in Hungary. Your film was mostly shot on Poland, and also there's a Brazilian film that got 3 nominations. I'm Still Here. I'd like to ask you, do you think the Academy finally is to open itself more broadly to international films? And also, I would like to ask you if you have seen I'm Still Here.
Excuse me. No, I haven't seen that one yet. I think that The Brutalist and A Real Pain, I think of them as really American stories. My movie is really about kind of the American perspective on European history, and The Brutalist I really think of as a story of the American dream. Both movies are about Eastern European Jews, and about their experience as Americans. So I think of really these as like American stories. And I think of my movie really as, I always thought of my movie as a kind of, you know, an American indie set in Europe. And so when I was for example, talking to my cinematographer, I was giving him American independent films to watch. I gave him the movie Crimes and Misdemeanors. So he can watch like basically American style dramas, but I wanted it to be set in Europe. So, I really thought of it as an American movie, and I would love to, the next movie I'm doing is in America, but the one after that I would like to shoot overseas. And so, like, I would love to make movies overseas, but I really think of them as kind of American stories.
Okay, thank you. And I know your next film that you just mentioned is will be a musical comedy starring Julianne Moore and Paul Giamatti. What can you tell us about that one? Are you working on the script already?
No, no, we start shooting in a few weeks. Yeah, it's very, very soon. Yeah, no, it's about a very shy woman who Julianne plays, who joins a local community theater that is run by Paul Giamatti. And it's really about a woman it's about this very shy woman kind of finding her voice in musical theater. And it's kind of about my life because when I was younger, I was very, very shy and very miserable. And then I started doing community theater in New Jersey, and I found my life. It became my life, and so it's really kind of a story of my life, but it's you know like Madame Bovary. You know, I am Julianne Moore's character, like as Flaubert said.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Thank you.
Oh, thanks a lot.